web of knowledge we spin all day talking.
In the shadows where we weave, cat's voice spins webs of belief. Tarantulas with names like art, science and spiders tear the dark. Whispered wonders in the haze, youthful minds in their gaze, spreading vibes across the air in this web. Nothing compares. Web wonders casting spells where dark truths and lightness dwell, teaching youth the planet's lore, spinning webs forevermore. Scientific names roll on her tongue, wisdom's lantern for the young. Tarantulas creeping through the stream, now the pulse matches the dream. Spiders crawl.
Hello. Welcome
What's up?
everyone. Hey. Welcome everyone to another episode 2 on Untamed and Unhinged Reptiles segment Web Wonders. Thank you so much everyone for being here. But real quick, I just wanted to shout out to all the sponsors, starting with Cold Blooded Cafe, Reptile Crew, Reptile Life, Arc Adventures, Shed Outfitters, Lace Balls, Pythons, Schools and Geckos, Gecko Exchange, Reptile Talk, Juices Arthropods, Frank's Bugging 661. Oh my goodness, Hardcore Rackets, and the list goes on. So thank you, all the sponsors. Thank you for everyone for being here tonight. And boy, do we have a rocking episode tonight. Please welcome Junior, aka Epik Reptiles.
Yes. What's up? What's up, everybody?
Oh my
So
goodness.
thank you for having me. This is, I think, the second time. This is my second podcast. So
Is
thank
it?
you for having me. I'm a ton of energy. I'm myself all the time. So feel free to ask whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, you represent all B-boys out there, and
Yeah.
not only that, but you're representing New York in the house.
You already know. But
So-
everybody is doing a great job too. Like me being in contact and meeting new people for the first time in the reptile industry and the b-boy scene is amazing. I made some new friends, through the years of doing the reptile community thing, and is a wonderful thing.
It is. And real quick, just to get like the ball rolling with the fun aspect of it, so that people get a background information. So Junior and I, we met as kids. The funny thing is we never really face to face on that, but like we represent the same hood, and like we were at the same breakdance competitions. Yeah. Big girl, I was big girl movement, B-boy Epik, and who would have thought that we would, cross paths again? It's crazy.
In a whole different way.
Right. Something that we both love at the same time too.
Correct.
Isn't that it's just mind blowing. But as your other podcast that you were on, I wrote down some notes that I really want the audience to know and to hear what you had to say in previous podcasts. You said you had once stated that if you're more focused on the positivity on mental health. You once said if you're thinking about doing something, try it, because you don't know if it's gonna work out for you or not. And that's something so true. So thank you. I enjoyed it. So thank you for that episode that you were on.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I feel like that. Like, what is it? When I first started doing the whole reptile thing, I got introduced into ball pythons, right? And then I got introduced into tegus. And then I'm like, there's all these amazing animals that I'm able to work with. So a couple of people like just stick to one thing. I'm like, why? Why we can't just branch out to different stuff? You never know if you might find another passion somewhere else. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're trying stuff and then you fail, at least you know you try, right? But
Mm-hmm.
you're not gonna get there if you're too scared to try. Life
Exactly.
is about going through obstacles, you right? Up and down. And to tell you the truth, most of the time is down. We don't get too many breaks, but we got to make that happen, you know? As a community, mental health is a big part too,
Mm-hmm.
because we got responsibility. We got our families, and we are in charge of these beautiful animals that we're able to keep. That's a whole different ball game. So if you're off, the animals are gonna be off too. So when you're feeling like you're about to hit that rock bottom and you bounce up and you be like, nah, I gotta get it together. You
Mm-hmm.
know, there you go. You got to get back on your feet because you're, and you're getting trusted with a lot of different lives.
That's
You
right.
got to take that to, as a grain of salt.
Yeah. And in the hobby, what we do here, not just me, but others, you start with one thing, you get into, say, arachnids, you move on. That's not necessarily that you're moving on, but you're expanding your creativity.
Exactly.
Like you with the ball pythons, the tegus, the axolotls. I mean,
Came out of nowhere too because of my son, you know?
and
But
then you, yeah, and then you were in the arachnids as well. So
yes,
what has been your experience with the arachnids?
I enjoyed them. It's funny too because when the first time I was scared of them because, again, people are scared because they don't understand. So once you find out a little more information, that they're more scared of you, they're just being defensive because they don't know what you're gonna do to them. You understand a little more how to approach certain animals, right? So my first journey being a tarantula hobbyist, because I'm not a breeder, I just love keeping them. Was a Goody Sapphire, right? I went to the
Right.
vet because I used to do my checkups with my animals, and there was a lady there that she like, oh, I gotta leave. I still remember this like it was just yesterday. And this is 2012. She's like, I gotta leave. I got a couple animals and I don't know who to give it to. And I'm like, damn, this is my moment, like I'm scared of this tarantula. I don't know nothing about it, but I'm gonna figure it out. I said, listen, I take that, and she had a green tree python. So I'm like, listen, two animals that I don't know nothing about, but I will do my homework and do my studies. I ended up getting it. And in a matter of 2 weeks, I already knew almost everything. I had that Goody Sapphire, and that's Goody Sapphire was like a good 4 inches. It was big. I don't know if it was a female or male, but it was beautiful, and that was like a joy. The For the first time, I think that's like the biggest jewel out there for a tarantula keeper, right?
Right.
Right, blue colors, yellow, black, amazing. And
Mhm.
then was a green tree python was amazing too, because completely different from a bull python. These guys like to be in the trees and perched up. And I was able to work with them, and I enjoy myself with these different animals. So I was like, you know what, let me educate myself a little more how to care for them. And from there I'm like, listen, if this is fun, I get look at other different animals, because I'm like that. Like, I get bored. I love bull pythons, but I love tegus, I love tarantula, like I love almost all the animals. And when me working with them, it's like a blessing. You feel me? Like, I get to really be there, take care of them, see how they thriving. And I think for a hobbyist, is like the best thing you could do when an animal is thriving in your collection or in your, you know, yeah, collection. You're doing something right, and the animal is getting the best care it could get by you getting more knowledge.
Exactly. So you learn from not only one specific animal, but then two. And then once you start to get the idea of what you have in your collection, you start to realize, oh, shoot, there's a lot of information that I
That,
really need to know. It's not just one thing that they're all the same. No, everything is very individual. And you go from a Honda Civic to a truck, in that sense. or that analogy. But so tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you're doing in the hobby.
So myself, when I first started, it was I always had animals. I had my little green iguana. I had like garden snakes, regular water turtles and stuff like that. So I always had a couple of reptiles around. So as I was you know, transitioned into moving, I told my wife, I'm like, yeah, I'm working. Like I have no pets, you know. So I have asthma, right? So I'm like, definitely I can't get a dog right now or a cat, you know. So I'm like, let me see what can I work with. So boom, I'm like, oh, I want a snake. I want a snake. I don't care how I get it. I need a snake. I did my research. Brian Barczyk, Snake Bikes TV popped up. And to tell you the truth, my father was never in my life. So then I watched every episode that he had. The thing I enjoy about him, he was able to show you how to care for the animal and the lifestyle he's living. You know, he's real honest, he's showing you his life from the inside as a breeder, which I love that about him because now we get to see other breeders. You know, being a breeder don't mean it's a walk in the park. We have a lot of responsibility. We sometimes people think we're making a ton of money for ourselves. No, we're upgrading cages. We're buying food. You know, like we're working for our animals because we love to do it. You know, it don't matter if you're a hobbyist slash business owner, you still got that passion, you know? So we're upgrading whatever we can. So I'm seeing everything he's doing. And then he started getting into the education part, which when I first bought my first two bull pythons, I already knew enough. So, and I was able to meet him at the White Plains show a couple of years back. We took a picture and everything, and that's my idol. You know, it's too bad that he's not here with us, but he opened a lot of people mind how to come together as a community, how to respect other breeders, how to see his side where the plants he's really was making. Like at that point, he was only a snake breeder. You didn't know he was gonna branch out into substrate aquariums. Like that's why I'm always preaching. Think bigger. It don't matter if you have money or not. If you're always thinking that you reach bigger goals, go for it. Cause you never know where you're gonna end up. Like me growing up, I didn't never knew I was gonna be in this position I am now. And I can't get all that credit for myself. I gotta thank my wife, my kids, everybody who introduced me and helped me and supported me, you know. Always got to give them credit, you feel me? Because this is hard to do by yourself, you know. So the people who are doing it by themselves, congratulations. The people who got their partner and family members to help them out, that's a big help too. So I'm living my dream right now, reaching other people, making new friends, and it's amazing feeling. But you really got to go out there and think bigger. I got a lot of friends who they overthink everything. Like what happened? Did this person think this? The only person who get judge you is yourself. All right, because you can never make everybody happy. You can do 110 things right. Once you messed up once, forget about it. They eat you alive. So my way I see stuff, I'm doing the best thing I can with my animals. Sometimes I go through a lot of hard times. I lose animals. And I'd rather me just cover that. I'm going to show you what I did wrong for you won't have the same mistake. You know, own up to everything. You know, like I'm an open book. Like if I know something went wrong, I'm going to let you know what went wrong. You want to judge me on that? Feel free. But if you see like somebody doing the same mistake and not fixing their habitat or the care, then that's on you. Yes, you're not even supposed to have that animal, you know. But if you're catching your mistakes and learning, you know, everything is life lessons.
Yeah.
So and on top of that, you got great people too out here, new people who know a lot of stuff, but they don't got the credit or the numbers or the resources that the other people in the hobbyist big people who, if you know, the regular person they know so much knowledge, but they look up to the highest people who are already in the top. So you know, sometimes everybody adds up, you know, everybody got on knowledge, and then you can share all that information and everybody learns more.
Yeah.
So
And that's what we're here to talk about tonight, is that gatekeeping. Breeding is not for the faint of heart. It's not just about breeding. It's about our education within the hobby. A lot of people think that if you hide what you did and your mistake, that is going to be cool. No, that's
people
eventually
are scared to
come
get
out.
judged.
Yeah. And I what I really wanted to shine on tonight's podcast was, it's okay if you make a mistake. It's okay, because that's what we're here. We're here to learning. We're here to see other people and how they do things, but because it's not just one source. And if you go to other sources, then that's how you learn. And hi, Liz. So, what was your experience when you first made your mistake within keeping within the hobby? What did you?
I made a couple of mistakes. You know, the first mistake I did is when we moved into the house. I had a cool room, and for tegus for you to have them to breed, because I had 27 tegus at one point. So I was really cool with a lot of, I'm still cool with a lot of breeders. So there's different technique how to cool them down to get them to breed. You know, eventually I became a hobbyist slash breeder. I wanted to produce my favorite animal ever. So I was able to produce ball pythons, not tarantula, scorpions, leopard geckos, crested geckos. But the main animal I wanted to produce was a tegu. So when we came to this house, I have a cool room. The first year we moved in, I put them there. I had some blues, and it's like difficult topic because it's like they brewmate, they don't brewmate. People do it different.
Right.
The problem I did was when when I put them into the cool room, I didn't know it was gonna go like 55 degrees. That room wasn't insulated. So by the time they told me like, yo, don't mess with them, don't check on them, they should be all right. By the time I went to check on them, they froze. And I had those from a baby. So I cried for days. Because listen, this is something that is really, one of your favorite pets.
Yeah.
For them to go out like that is heartbreaking. And we go through a lot of stuff like that, but people don't know. As a breeder, you go through a lot of stuff, and sometimes you got to do a lot of decisions that is not easy, as a breeder. So, I learned that lesson, and then I wasn't cooling in that room no more. I tried other techniques. Not too long ago, I lost a crested gecko, and that I had for since my daughter was 5 or 6. So she was old, but the problem is the substrate wasn't in there when she was supposed to lay the eggs, and she got egg bound. You feel me?
Oh, yeah.
So that one day that I decided to change the substrate, and I put it in there, and I forgot. By the time I put it in there, she was already gone. So that's another mistake. Like,
Yeah.
Like everybody learns from mistakes. It just, so it's a lot of bad things that happen that people don't share, but I would share it because again,
Yeah.
you need to know these things.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I'll share one of mine. So Rocco, my veiled chameleon, he was a rescue or surrender. I think 2 weeks now. It's been 2 weeks now since I got him, and I called you. You were the first person I called. I was like, Junior, what do I do?
I'm like, that's a veiled chameleon. I had
Yes.
one of those.
Yeah. So you were the first person I called, because when you think about someone that you need desperately, that you need help, who are you going to go to? Somebody you trust, right? So if you could trust somebody in the hobby, go to that person. But not only that, go to another person. And so when I found out that he was a male, I was like, yes, because the female chameleons, they can end up being egg bound.
Yes.
And I didn't know that.
With a male and without a male, they produce eggs regardless.
Right. So what if Rocco was a girl, a female, and I kept her without, that much substrate, just, the plants in the pot and whatever. And what if, she didn't have room to lay her eggs and she died, and then all that thing would happen? What would I do? I would have hit that. I would have been like, yeah, she passed away. It was so sudden, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not going to sit here and be like, yup, this is what happened. No, I'm going to say, so because I didn't do my research like I was supposed to, this is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, what was the comment there? You'll never stop learning with animals. That is so right. Thank you, Mass Bandit, for. Oh wait, wait, who said that? Oh, hi, Chris. Yes, it's very true. You never stop learning with animals, and it doesn't matter what animal you have, whether you have one species doubling up, they're all different. Like, for example, Titocottle vegans, it's, a tarantula. It's a tarantula, but you may have one, you may have triple, and just because it's just one species doesn't mean that you can take care of it all the same. There's males, there's females, there's whether they're mature, not mature, slings. It's the same thing with reptiles. Are they scaleless? Do they have scales? Like, each individual needs a certain type of care.
Yeah.
And so with you just learned about the scaleless snakes, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I purchased one because eventually I want to get into the education. I don't know everything. All right. I just like showing and telling about the animals. I know certain stuff. I know enough, but I just want to share that experience that I got the first time when I went to the reptile show. So to bring a couple of animals to a school and talk about what got me motivated, it's amazing to share that experience with other young kids too, that they might grow up and they want to be a breeder. A lot of people used to shy away from being a breeder. Like when I first started, people would be like, no, I love doing this. This is a passion. But like they'll shy away from, yeah, I'm producing these animals. It's not bad, because it's like we're doing it for the right reason.
Yeah.
We love producing these animals. They thrive, and we want to share our experience with other people having a little baby that we produce. And then that's when you step up your customer service. Whatever you need, contact me. Oh, this is issue, we can solve it together. Like, and then you build a friendship. Like me, when I sell animals, it's not more about the money. I want to make the connection. Like whatever you need, contact me. Something goes wrong, contact me. Are you thinking about something? Contact me, because we need that. Because when I was coming around, I was dropping $2,000 on a snake, and the breeder would give it to me, and then I'll have 2-3 questions, and he won't even answer me back. So I'm like, so where's the customer service there? So when I started becoming a little big, I'm still growing. I'm not even up there. I'm gonna provide that customer service that people really need. You feel me? They want a connection. They want to, like, when I was watching Brian Barczyk do his channel and I got to meet him for the first time, it's like, wow, this is amazing. Like, and he told me straight up, feel free to contact me. The nicest guy I ever met in my life. And from that, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna make sure I have 100% customer service. And that's it, man. That's how everybody should treat this hobby, with the
Yeah.
best care, create friendship and connection, and from there, like you make it better for other breeders.
That's totally right. And that's what makes our community stronger and put together. So, in your experience, how important is it when you either sell or either when you give advice to someone? How important is it for you to give your all to them?
From the start, I'm myself all the time. I know a lot of people keep it professional. I could do the same thing, but I like to keep it professional and I like to joke around. I want to make sure that the person is comfortable, and if the snake is not ready for them, I'll let them know it's not ready for them. Like if they telling me they don't have the first thing, before you even buy an animal, you need to have the setup. You don't have the setup, we're gonna have problems. Why? Because once you sell that animal to that person who don't have the setup, right? They take it home, they put it in the bin, they feed it. The animal can't digest if there's no heat, there's no UVB light. So now they're telling you you're a horrible person who sold them an animal that's now sick. Why? Because they didn't do their homework. So
Mhm.
every time I do sell an animal at the show or anybody I talk to, do you know how to care for this animal? If you don't, watch a YouTube video. There's a lot of many perfect breeders out there who will break it down piece by piece.
Mhm.
If you got any questions, feel free to tell me. But you need your setup first. Then you bring the animal,
Yeah.
right? And then after you bring the animal, you got to learn about all the bad things that can happen with reptiles too. Mites, mouth rot. You got to be ready for everything. So I'm not going to sell you the dream like, oh, it's perfect, nothing's going to happen. I need you to be prepared about this animal. This is how big it's going to get. This is cute as a baby. You got to get frozen rats. You got to get live rats. Like you got to know that everything what you're getting yourself into. So in the end of the day, that animal don't end up on Craigslist because you can't take care of it. You feel me? Like you got to do your research.
Exactly. And I'm glad you brought that up because expo season is right now or around in this country, around the world. We're in expo season, and a lot of some vendors, they will vent to you or they will vent to people without asking, do you have this set up? Do you know how to take care of this animal? And you hardly don't see that when like reputable vendors, they just want it for the money or they just want to get rid of their animal. So when you go to an expo and you go to a certain vendor and they tell you, or when they ask you, do you have this? Do you know about this? Are you prepared for this? That is the vendor you need to trust. That is the perfect vendor. I want to say perfect,
But I can't talk about all vendors because they, a lot of them are responsible. Most of them, it's up to really the person buying the animal to do the research too. Like it really falls on them because if they're ready to buy an animal and they're in a reptile show and they're acting like they know what they're doing, sometimes other breeders probably like he got one animal or he was able to, like they don't know exactly that person mindset about caring, so. Sometimes some people do make the mistake, but me, I'm straight up like, I don't even care if the snake is $1,000. Do you have the enclosure? Because I don't want a bad review, even though you're gonna get them. Because some people are never happy. You can't make everybody happy.
Yeah.
But, that's what you're supposed to be talking about before anything. Yes, I have everything ready. Oh, I had them a long time ago. At least you have some type of knowledge how to care for the animal.
Yeah. So my mistake that I did when I got Reptar, my crested gecko was it last year? Last year at an expo. So this was my mistake that I did. I was looking for a crested gecko. I had everything prepared, but I didn't do my full research. So when I went to this specific vendor, it was both our faults, but mostly on me. So I said, listen, I want a crested gecko. This is my budget. What do you have? And she's like, oh, well, look at this one, look at that one. What color do you want? What morph do you want? I'm like, I want a Halloween morph. She's like, well, this is, when you go and you see them, they're really fired down.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Yeah. So she said, so this is the Halloween morph. And thinking that I could trust her because she's a vendor. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm looking at him and he's in the cup and she takes him out and he's all gentle and everything. And she's like, well, this is his life. This is what he eats, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. And she's like, well, this is where I kind of got like tricked because she's like, oh, so do you have a setup? I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, so I'll sell it to you under 50. I'm like, okay. So I showed her a picture of the setup that I had.
Great.
And all right, so I'll give it to you for 50 instead of 55. I'm like, all right. So I got the crested gecko. I went home. I did everything. I waited about like 2 weeks before handling because you're supposed to wait 2 weeks so that way they can acclimate. And so that's what I did. And then when I wanted to, to handle him or to feed him, he was horrible. So I do not handle him at all because he's just very
bitey.
Yes.
Okay.
But it turns out that I started asking her questions, sending her messages. Listen, this happened. He's acting this way. I try to do all the right things. And she's like, yeah, well, it's because he came from a really bad home and he didn't trust people and blah, blah, blah. She just gave me a whole list of problems.
She'll tell you this in the beginning. So that was her fault.
Yeah, but it was my fault for not asking too many questions. Yeah. And so that's one thing that I want everyone, when they go to an expo or they buy online, ask questions.
Yes. Yeah. Also, too, like as a vendor, ask questions. But when you're gonna ask your question, make sure I don't care if you're purchased from me or not, but a lot of people like to just go to the shows, so whole animal just for fun, right? And that's okay. But then the problem is they start holding animals from every vendor. And the problem is you don't know, you know, in the reptile industry, you don't know who got mites, who got what, who got, you know, and we have sanitizer, but sometimes people don't buy nothing at all, which is okay.
Yeah.
But just don't waste the breeder time. Like, let me hold that one, let me hold that one, let me get that one, and they'll be like, all right, I'll see you. Like, bro, you please, like, come if you're interested, and if you find a better price, then listen, congratulations on that. I seen it a lot of time. They come to my table, they're like, I like this, it's a little expensive, but I'm gonna check around. I'm like, go ahead, do your thing, because I'm there just for the people. If I make some money, cool. And they come back with some stuff, and I'm like, let me see what you got, you know. Other people probably like, damn, I messed out money. Me, I get excited. I'm like, yo, what you got? Oh, and you got like, I'm happy for them. Like, I'm really, like, I'm happy. Like, I'm never there like, because money for me is, I don't care. I just care about the experience. And then people is
Yeah.
getting happy, like going around and they're able to grab 2, 3 animals to see and then buy one. Then I'm like, all right, cool. But a lot of people like to just play around too much, you know. So,
Yeah. So
but yeah, so that crescent gecko, like, listen, I had 3 crescent geckos, right? 2 of them you can hold like nothing, right? And I produced these from the eggs. All 3 of them been set up the same, care the same. The problem is the male started getting aggressive, biting a lot, so I wasn't handling him that much. So that made him even more aggressive. But then I had to keep holding him, and he kept biting me. But the thing is, he was around a year old, so that's when he wanted to start breeding. So certain behaviors depends on the animal age too. So, you know.
So what inspired you, or what or who inspired you to stay in the industry?
Well, I took a break too. I'm not gonna lie. This is
Yeah.
not easy for people, man. Like, sometimes we got, you know what is it? Like, this year I was supposed to produce a whole bunch of ball python, but you know, the market is up and down, right? The
Mhm.
problem is right now, my whole baby rack is still full, right? And I was looking at the breeding season. I'm like, if I produce more animals, and I still got these animals,
Mhm.
I'm overdoing it. You know, I want to make sure I provide 100% of the care for these animals. I don't want to produce animals just to produce them, you know, just because I could.
Right.
So I didn't breed this season just because I have a lot of normals, clowns. Like, I have a couple of rescues, so I'm like, I'm not gonna have the space to produce more animals right now. People are not dropping a lot of money into projects if it's not that crazy, you know. And a lot of people I've been watching at the reptile show, they want a cool pet for a good price.
Mm.
That's what I want to offer, you know, something cool and in a decent price. Like, there's so many genetics and ball pythons, you feel me? And there's so many people doing it and new breeders who are coming in, and it's amazing. That's great. But the market, you feel me, it's this, you gotta learn, like we was talking about genetics. You gotta know certain genetics to put now, because you don't want to have those genetics producing normals, because nobody wants normals. You know, is your regular black and brown snake. Everybody want the crazy colors, so you got to be ready to produce a couple of normals by mistake and make sure you're able to care for them. Some of these animals I can't even sell. I have them in my collection. I couldn't sell for like 2, 3 years, and I don't mind because I have the space and I have the time. So
Mhm.
before you guys end up breeding, make sure you take your time to make sure what you got and have space, so when you're gonna produce something that's not gonna sell, you know.
Yeah.
So
So I love my black animals. If it's all black, I want it. So, and have you ever had um 2 snakes make an all black snake or no?
no, no, I think the closest stuff I had was I didn't even produce it. I bought it. It was like a mahogany pie, but I don't have it no more. Let me show you the scalers. The scalers is pretty dark.
Oh yeah, yeah, please.
Let's see. So one thing about the scale is they don't shed like the rest of the ball pythons. Remember, there's no
Okay.
scales. When they do shed, is in different parts, so they never fully clean. The breeder who sold it to me, he has a technique how to do it, but my incubator's not on to do that. So I'm gonna show you. It's amazing. The feeling is weird. The reason I even got this snake is just like if I do education shows,
Uh-huh.
I want to bring animals that you don't really see, you know? Like I
Yeah.
want to compare a regular snake to a snake. Like the genetics is so cool nowadays. You can do anything. So I
Yeah.
want to have that reaction like, oh my God, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
So let me ask you,
yes.
what's how do you prepare for them to when they go in blue? Like, do they have the same requirements? Like, do they need the same humidity dependency? Like,
No, these guys need it a little more humid and you might need to soak them a couple of times.
okay.
Yeah, because they have no way to just remove the shed like that. But I'll show it to you.
Okay, yeah. Ooh, I can't wait. So, do they have this different health complications because they're scaleless?
No, they're perfectly fine.
Okay.
So the feeling is crazy. This looked like I can't even describe the texture on this snake.
Wow, it's gorgeous. It's like
Even,
silver,
yeah,
right?
even, and I bought these guys, and Brian Barczyk was the first one to bring them in the
Yeah.
country, and he came with heads. So some of the babies was like normal, with like missing scales on his head. So he like, listen, if I put them together, he's like, I probably could come up with like a scaleless snake. And when he did that and produced that snake with no scale, I went crazy, you know? So
So, how
here
do they?
I am holding something that Brian Barczyk was able to imagine, you know, like this is what it's all about, you know, your idols. A lot of big breeders, sometimes they don't want to look up to the people who inspired them. Like, I
Mhm.
don't care. Like, you know, everybody in a hobby, you know, like done something for us. Like we're not, you know, like they're not the best project snake, but they're pretty impressive,
Yeah.
you know. And to hold
Wow.
something like this is amazing, you know.
Is it? Do you know if it's a female or male?
It's a male. It's a male.
Okay.
Even
So,
even the stomach is different like that.
oh my goodness, so smooth.
So
Wow. So, because it's scaleless, do they have the same hemipenes as a regular
yes, they have everything the same.
everything? Okay. Wow. So, what makes them scaleless? Like, how do they? I don't understand.
The genetics. There's a lot of genetics in ball python, and most of them comes from Africa. So it depends on what traits they showing, and you know it depends what come in and who works with it. So
Yeah.
there's like a lot of mutation, which I'm not crazy with the mutation because I only know the basic, but there's always new mutation coming out. What is it?
Yeah. So there's a plethora of sanctifications, information, all different types of gatekeeping within the reptile community and within the arachnid community. So what helps you to, like, for example, because of the scaleless snake, what helps you not to shy away from gatekeeping? Like, oh, I got this snake and I'm gonna keep it for myself. Like, are you gonna gatekeep all that information too, or are you gonna help spread the word?
Well, me, I can only talk about myself, you know. Um, my whole thing is to share
Hi, Genesis.
my whole journey and this whole reptile stuff. You know, I'm into a lot of different stuff and I bump into new stuff that I try out. So as me learning, you know, being a breeder, I'm so excited that I love making videos. So whatever I can learn, good or bad, I want to share it. So I don't know about other people. Other people might do that, but I'm focused on myself. I follow my own trend. Like everybody, be yourself. Do what you love to do. A lot of people like to turn on this camera, right? And pretend a whole script who somebody they're not. I'm the same way in camera, off camera. I keep it real with you. And,
Mhm.
you know, I don't sugarcoat anything.
Right.
And I think when you are talking about the truth or learning stuff too, because I'm always learning new stuff. When you open your mind to other stuff and you be honest to yourself, I think you can accomplish anything in life, you know?
Yeah, I think so too. So when a person wants to buy from you, why is it how would you say this? Why is it better buying or supporting from a local breeder rather than going to a pet store?
One, you get the best customer service you can, right? Because if you go to a pet shop and you buy this animal and then you want to know anything about the animal, they can't tell you because it came from a different place, you know. Other pet shop, they buy animal in bulk, maybe from a private breeder, or they get just imported, right, from different place. You don't know if the animal is gonna come with parasites. You don't know all these issues. You don't know how long that animal was in the box, how many days, where it came from. They just get in an animal shipment, you know. I don't know all the details. I know the best thing you can do is get your animals from a breeder. Like if I don't have the animal, I'll let you know who has it.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're looking for something, like I'm always like throwing people like, yo, yeah, he got like me. I got more pythons, but Reptile Creation got more impressive genetics than me, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's this guy, it's crazy. Look at this. This is throwing the off topic.
Okay, that's okay.
I had this tegu, right, from Opal Dragon. It ended up turning out to be, I had two males, right? It was supposed to be female, male.
Mm-hmm.
When we breeding, sometimes we get confused and stuff like that. Amazing guy. I sold that animal to a customer at the reptile show, right? He was able to raise it up, breed it to two females. And I don't know if he's been in the game for a long time. I know I've been trying to produce tegus forever. Um, so so he was able to produce two clutches. Amazing, right? So now I don't know if he's a new breeder, luck, whatever, but since I've been in a hobby forever and that's my dream, I'm more excited for him than him for himself, because I'm like, amazing, you know. Like I met all the tegu breeders, but like that is amazing that he's able to produce something from an animal that I sold him that I couldn't even be able to produce. So
Oh.
now I want all the knowledge he has that he's gonna share with me. And that's how, look, from that sale, it became a friendship. So now he's showing me his collection tomorrow. I'm gonna show him my collection, because you know gotta be careful out here with your collection, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But out of that one sale, it turns into a friendship, you know, and that's what it's all about, you know. So
Yeah.
it's amazing how the reptile community works,
Yes.
you know. So
So what's next for you now that you have that experience? What's next for you in the industry?
I love ball pythons. I'm gonna downsize on ball pythons because the ball python's gonna be number one still, you know.
Save me one.
Huh?
Save me one.
Yeah. But my passion is to produce a tegu clutch. I love tegus, and I think I'm gonna jump more on the tegu side, you know, as my main staple. But I gotta learn everything from the ground back up. And you listen, I'm always open for new information, and you can always grab that information and tweak it the way you want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm happy that we're able to share each other information, and you can learn from somebody who just came in the hobby. You can learn from somebody who's been in the hobby for a long time. You can still learn. The problem is when you feel like you know everything and you're better than everybody, you're gonna hit rock bottom, because every day there's new information. You know, you don't know who has the information. So be kind and make sure you show love and support for the next person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for me, I like working with a lot of different animals. I love it. I'm gonna get back into New Guinea frilled dragons, panther chameleon. It's a blessing to keep these animals around and care for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so but my main thing, I would like to be a tegu breeder, but you know it's still in the works.
Right.
So you know, it's just a ton of animals that I want to work with. You know, it's a joy. Right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get a book real quick. So two more questions, but this second question is, now that you want to work with tegus, is there a certain person or a certain company that you want to collab with?
Well, Underground Reptiles is not around no more. And Tropical Reptiles he gave me the best tour ever, and he's super cool guy. I would like to go to Opal Dragon to make a video.
Uh-huh.
And House of Tegus, that's the guy who bought the Tegu from me, and he was able to produce two clutch. Me and him we're linking up together
Soon, or is that like in the works?
No, that's definitely. I'm going to his house tomorrow to see his collection
Oh, that's
and
so,
hatch out some babies. Yes, great
oh,
guy. We've been back and forth. You know, you got good energy when you talk to somebody, when you
yeah,
meet them. You
yeah,
know, there's a lot of bullshitters sometimes out there. Oop,
yeah.
my bad.
You're fine.
There's a lot of people, you know, who
Yeah,
they're not there for you, man. Like I'm here for whoever is my friend. You
exactly.
know, I don't need to be friend with somebody for their status. I don't care about that. Like
Hmm.
if I'm here for you, you know? It's just I gotta see who's gonna line up in my circle, you know?
Yeah. Who's gonna ride?
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's what I like about our friend group. That I know a lot of you watching, you already know. Untamed and Unhinged Reptiles, we have a network that we're close, we're together. And the reason for that is because we support each other, we respect each other. And that's the most important thing. If you're gonna be in this hobby, that's the first thing you need to know. And not just what you need to know about your animals, but you need to know about the people.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And
that's
on
mhm.
top of that too, everybody is together as a you know community, but same time, don't be scared to branch out.
Yeah,
You know, like me, I like to do stuff by myself. I'm by myself all the time. And I mess with a lot of people. I'm cool with a lot of people. But I like to branch out and do different stuff, you know? So everybody who are thinking about idea or thinking about something, pursue it. You never know if it's gonna work out. Like
yeah,
my page is about reptile and I'm putting fitness videos, I'm putting breakdancing videos. Why? Because it's not to throw people off. I'm just want to show you my life, how interesting it is.
right.
Like, there's more to it than animals. If I'm fit, I feel healthy, I can take care of my animal. If I'm doing something amazing, it can lead to something else with animals, you know, like you're opening different doors. So don't be scared to just, you know, not do something you're thinking about. You need to chase it. We only here for a little bit. Chase it. If you're thinking about it, think about it 10 times bigger.
Hmm.
Why we can't think bigger, you know, because our wallets is empty, we're not making enough money. When you got that big dream, anything is accomplished. It just takes time. You just gotta go
Yeah,
and get that.
yeah. And with your animals too, you don't really need, well, some animals, yeah, you need, their big space, you need their enclosures and everything, but you can be creative. Like you don't have to go on, Petco or those big name pet stores and be like, look at their care sheets, because a lot of the time those care sheets are way wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't really need what they're trying to sell you. You go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's, go
Work
to
for
say
you.
blah blah. Yes, go to Family Dollar, the Dollar Tree. You can go to other places that are cheap and just make it this grand big thing. Like what I did with Rocco, me and my friend who she's gonna be on the show June 10th. So, we basically MacGyver that enclosure.
Yeah.
I'm telling my age here. If you do you guys know who MacGyver is? But I mean, like, that's
You
something.
made it work for yourself,
Yeah,
and
make
it works perfect for the animal. Me,
exactly.
I couldn't buy every enclosure because tegus get big. I
Hmm.
had to go to Home Depot and learn how to do my own enclosures,
Yeah,
indoor, outdoors. And now, like, I can make a enclosure in an hour, you know, like
yeah,
just take your technique, work at your own pace, and just if it works for you, then
yeah,
continue that route.
yeah. So, what's something that you want to make known about your business?
Just like I said, I'm always preaching customer service and be true to yourself. Like in camera and out of camera, you can only be you. So I realize when I go to the show, sometimes with the reptile breeders, they're so serious. They just like want to look professional all the time. Like
Yeah,
relax and be you. People are people are supporting your brand because of you, your personality. What do you bring to the table? Like if you're all stuck up and not laughing and just yeah, this is yeah, nobody wants that, you know. Like I don't want that. Like anybody who comes to my table, we have a ton of fun, even if you don't buy nothing. We talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at other people purchase that it wasn't even for me, and I'm like, oh, that's so amazing. You know, like enjoy the hobby. You know, like the
Yeah.
money come, yeah, and if it don't come, we're still here for the hobby. We're
Exactly.
connection. We're here to learn too a lot of information from new hobbyists who are coming in. A lot of people shy away from that. There's so much people who are coming in the hobby with a lot of information, and they don't want to. A lot of people don't want to give them the time and day because they haven't put the years in. You know, a lot of people get real educated with this whole YouTube channels and shows and all that stuff. So we already, you know, we're starting good there because
Yeah.
somebody could come already. I'm like, well, I watched like 20, 30 videos. I'm good. You know, so that's it makes it easier for the breeders too. Like, damn, he did his homework.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And you're a great example of that to not just, in our friend group, but to all of us. And another example is Juice from Juice's Arthropods. He has a YouTube video and he also has his business. But a lot of people like him because he's real. He's an everyman. He's outgoing. He's humble. He's,
Exactly.
And so if everyone could just be not so
Oh,
serious,
just be they self.
yes, just have fun with it. Like if you're going to be in the hobby, yeah, there's a lot that you need to know, but have fun with it. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay that you might not know the Latin name or the scientific name.
Exactly. Yeah.
That'll come with time. Just have fun with it.
You know.
Yeah, I love that about this industry, this community, this hobby. There's so many words for it. Like we should have like an award thing. Like
I better get one because I'm taking it. Nah, but
yeah,
it's true, man. Just enjoy it, man.
yeah,
Like I even took a break because sometimes it gets too crazy, and I took 2 years off a while back from bull python, and then I was trying to figure out different animals I wanted to work with. But I took 2 years off, you know, just
yeah,
for me and the animals. So then I jumped back into it, and you know, sometimes you need to reset. Sometimes you need to disappear to find out what is your main passion, what's your goal. Because to tell the truth, sometimes we love these animals, we love them, we do the best we can, but sometimes we get overwhelmed with our mental health and our issue, and sometimes we need to take a break, you know. And I sold my collection at least 3 times. This is my fourth time getting into bull pythons again. Like I know my limit. Like if I feel like I need a break, I know where all these animals are gonna go to go home. You
yeah,
know? And then don't be scared to start again. It's always good to start again, but make sure the most thing you can do, the responsible thing to do, make sure
yeah.
these animals will be able to go somewhere
Hmm.
responsibly. You know?
Yeah.
So
So when you were starting out for like first time when you were starting out, what was the most difficult thing that you had to face with your collection?
um customer service and mites. And
Ooh.
in the next year, I ended up producing a clutch. The incubator broke, and I had to incubate the eggs in a in the rack system, and it worked out. I had 2 clutches. I produced one of all my hobbies, and the other ones were like spiders and something that did not make it.
Oh, okay.
But the biggest thing was customer service. The animals that I paid a lot of money for the
Mhm.
genetics, I had no support.
Yeah.
You know.
So what I'm, now getting into the reptiles, and I'm still doing my arachnids, but now that I'm getting into the reptiles, I'm learning and studying. But so the spider gene, what is that?
I'm not into genetics like that. I don't know. Spider genes. I know you cannot mix spider and spider. All the babies die. I know that. But
Okay.
a lot of people shied away from the spider gene because it do come with like a head wobble, and
Okay.
a lot of people don't like that. And you know,
So that's like a neurologic thing that
yeah, something with the spider gene. So a lot of people don't
okay.
work with it.
Because when I was first, studying about the ball pythons, they kept bringing up spider gene. I'm like, what is that? Is that like a snake
I
that has
feel like that's
spider
one
in
of
it?
the couple of genetics that started coming out, like the
Yeah,
normal. pastel, the spider. That was like probably new genetics from the first time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was like so confused. And then, so that's one thing that I have to study more into now that I'm gonna get into the reptile hobby. Um, like, of course, I'm still gonna do my arachnids. I'm still gonna breed. I mean, I already have one of my tarantulas going to someone in California. Um,
nice.
yeah. So if you guys don't know Frank Chavez, Frank's Buggin 661, please go check him out. He's a reputable breeder in California. I highly recommend him. So I'm giving him my Titocado Shadori, my Mexican gray black. I see the common names. I hate the common names. So I'm giving him to breed because he has two females.
Okay.
And then for my chameleon, I have a friend who, in the future, he's gonna produce panther chameleons. So he's gonna give me one. But
Those, I love panther chameleon. They're so beautiful.
yeah,
I had a couple of them.
yeah. So how, in your experience, how big do they get?
They get like I want to say like an inch and a half, maybe less, because they got a lot of tail. They get like a nice size.
Okay, so like
Veil
large
chameleons
size?
get pretty nice, pretty big too. I had a couple of big veil chameleons.
Okay.
So it depends. They do get pretty impressive. I can't tell you the size, but impressive.
Oh, okay.
But I feel like the panther chameleons, they do have the best colors though.
All right. Real quick, because he has MBD, metabolic bone disease, it could he be able to breed or no?
Um, I don't know. That's a good question. I
Hmm.
think if I would say yes if you're giving him everything he needs now, and then like
Hmm.
in a year or two, he should be fine.
Okay. Hold on. Let me. Wow, it's
I want
already.
to it's probably reversible, but I'm not. I don't know how severe it is.
Look how he's doing really good. Can you see him?
No, you gotta go closer.
Okay, hold on. He's doing so good.
Oh, he
Hi,
looks great.
Rocco.
Yeah, he looks great.
Yeah, so he's been eating a lot.
Okay,
He has a schedule.
that's great.
Yeah, he's like an old man. He's
And then
more.
you got the calcium rapashi, right?
Yes.
That's the
Yeah.
yeah.
I dust his mealworms, all his food. I dusted with the calcium, and at first he didn't like it with the calcium, but
Yeah.
yeah, now he's eating fine. He's perfect. So yeah, I am so thankful for you, for everyone in the hobby who's been helping me with with the
No
chameleon.
problem. Everybody got good information out there too. Sometimes I don't know everything, so I gotta look it up too. So
Yeah, and that's the thing. You don't just go to one source. You go to multiple sources.
exactly.
It's like when you go to the doctors and they say they give you a certain medical condition, and you're like, let me get a second opinion.
Exactly. You're not gonna kill me. I'm on to the next one.
Right, right.
Yeah. No, that's how it is. You gotta, and it's good that you got a couple of people you get reach. Also, too, we can always bring it to the vet. You know,
Yes.
I got a snake I gotta take to the vet next week. Like I get treat most stuff, but the
Hmm.
thing is, like I feel like if I don't have the medicine, or if I feel like that complication is a little bit too much, I
Yeah.
gotta take it to the vet. You gotta make sure you gotta have money to
Yeah.
set aside if you need a vet visit. All right.
Yeah.
'Cause-
So please, everyone who's watching, just because you can go to other sources and your local breeders or whatever for a question, please, your number one thing should go to a vet. They are the professionals. Please go to them if you have a problem with your animal. Please.
yes,
Yeah,
100%,
100%.
1000%.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna give you guys some insight or not insight, news before we head out. Yeah, news, breaking news. I don't know, news. So for next week's episode, for episode 3, we have Victor from Victacine, and the others. Yeah, he's really great. So hold on. There's one that last week I said it was going to be a surprise for one of the shows. All right. So for July 1st, we have a special guest coming on the show. A lot of people have been like waiting for the announcement. And so here's the announcement. This person is from Australia. And everyone's guessing who it is, but I'm not going to say who it is, but just be aware. This person is from Australia. Amazing person. So please stay tuned. Make sure to stay in touch with Junior Epik Reptiles with all your questions, snakes, his merch. Please go check out his merch.
Reptile Life.
Yes, Reptile Life.
The E's are backward 3s, so if you can't find it, just hit me up on Epik Reptiles on IG, and I'll send you to the page.
Right. All right, Junior. Thank you so much.
Happy I was able to, I'm happy we was able to talk about a lot of topics that a lot of people don't want to talk about.
Right. Yeah. And most importantly, thank you, Chris, for having us on this epic episode.
Journey. Yo, you guys gotta start paying me for that. Nah.
All right. So remember, guys, like, share, subscribe if you dare.
Yep.
Bye.
In the shadows where we weave, cat's voice spins webs of belief. Tarantulas with names like art, science and spiders tell